On there.
So we got a bunch of breaking news I want to talk about. The post-ignorance project here. We're talking about, of course, Fukushima, Chernobyl. Today's the shirtwaist fire anniversary, 108 years, as those girls burned to death in Jump. But so breaking news on the nuclear waste coming to Utah. Now, the Senate, and this is real important for all you San Onofreers. So I just listened to I was part of the webcast. So the N.R.C. just had their canister hearing and ruling. Now, they promised me I have serious ties with the nuclear, I call them the nuclear rallying cheerleaders. And before I go off on the nuclear rallying cheerleaders, I want to say, first off, thank you to them. I have a lot of ties with them. They promised me 2 weeks ago that they would address my question. Now, they had their hearing in Arlington, Texas. Now, why are we having a meeting in Arlington, Texas when the issue's in San Clemente, California, San Diego County, and in Tooele County, Utah? Now, why is this Tooele County, Utah? The San Onofre generator that had the meltdown that in 2012, where's it parked illegally? In Utah. We went out there with Geiger counters over the state limits. Now, let me give you an update what happened in there.
How are the readings there on the Geiger?
10,000 times over the legal state limits. Deb and I, the neurosurgeon, went out there.
Are you serious?
10,000 times over the state legal limits. I almost broke our Geiger counters, and they just buried in the ground. So let me give you a quick update what happened inside the hearing. I just barely got done with it. So in the hearing, they fined Cal Edison $119,000, which you know what Cal Edison will do. They'll just dump that on the ratepayers of California, which they always do. So on the canister, and this is another issue, this is important here in Weber County, Utah, Weber State University, Waters Construction, who built the reactors of Fukushima, Japan, who cheated. They built the reactor at San Onofre, they cheated. So the poster child for everything wrong with the nuclear industry, San Onofre. So let me give you a quick update what happened in there. So they promised me they'd read my question in the Q&A. My question was this. Now first I'll give you the good news. Some good news come out of there today. The dry cast containers, Holtex containers, which got delayed, they were 70-something% done getting that nuclear waste out of those reactors into the cast on the beach, which I say not on the beach. So delayed because a whistleblower came forward and thing. Now, I listened to it. The delay is not our friend. Now, let me give you the good news. My question was this. Once it comes out of all the spent fuel pools, by the way, that's been there for 50 years, very dangerous, vulnerable, nightmare. The worst scenario on Earth is nuclear waste at San Onofre on the beach, earthquake, earthquake, earthquake.
Right.
So, they asked my question. My question was, once you take it out of the spent fuel pools, put it in the canisters, put it in the ground, can it be removed out of those canisters and put into a permanent location like WIPP in New Mexico? By the way, WIPP blew up in New Mexico, and guess who made the canisters? Peterson Fabrications, Far West Utah, Weber County, Utah. So it blew up, they lied. $2 billion is all it cost to reopen that. Put it into a ground, a good idea? No. There aren't no any good ideas. So their answer was yes. Not only did he yes, he elaborated on it, and he said that not only, he called it a permanent solution, abstract from what we have at San Onofre now, which is not a permanent solution. And they alluded towards the fact that they do not want this to stay there permanently. So I want to say this to all the San Onofre activists, this is important. We need to have this waste into these dry cast canisters ASAP. We're in a vulnerable position. It is not our friend to delay this. Get this finished in these canisters. Get it out of these spent fuel pools. Get it in these canisters. Then we have to, while this is happening, we need to pivot. You people that are blocking this motion from happening, you're not our friend. You need, your heart's in the right place. But the thing is, we have to get this waste moved from the beach to WIPP, New Mexico. New Mexico says they wanted it. We have no setup here in Utah for it. Now, centrally located. So there's the update. They gave immediate approval to restart the process, of course, which we know that. Now, then I'll give you the bad news. The bad news, the nuclear regular, which I call the nuclear rallying cheerleaders, who we pay their bill. They're supposed to work for us, the taxpayer. The bad news, they were asked if, I'm sure it was Donna Gilmore's question, she's smart as it gets, she asked straight up, or maybe it was Gary Hedrick, straight up, well, have there been N.R.C. inspectors on the canisters once they're in the ground? She said no. Now think about this. No. But we're getting ready to start doing it.
Oh, wow.
Now I have a video. I was just recently there, Lisa and I, and we got video of the new, you should see their vehicles. The N.R.C. emergency response team on site. So they were there that day. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's have, you know, maybe we can, now that I gave the update, we can talk about maybe some nuclear waste in Utah and some issues that are going here in Utah.
So, N.R.C. Solutions is the company that brings the nuclear waste to Utah.
Right.
And confine it in Utah in places where they're supposed to be.
Well, one place.
Or one place or one field, one
Yes.
kind of a landfill, where they're supposed to be sure that there's no radiation out of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that doesn't go also to the phreatic.
So here's the situation here. So Energy Solutions has been around here for many decades.
Forever.
Yeah. They've changed their name multiple times. So they are monitored and regulated by the state of Utah, which is absurd. And so, you know, where are the feds? So in the state of Utah, we have what we call the Department of Environmental Quality. So the Department of Environmental Quality, but get this. The Department of Environmental Quality has one guy, his name's Sheehan, who's supposed to watch us over there. He's a derelict. But anyway, so they report to the DNR, Department of Natural Resources. The DNR, this county commissioner here, who was under investigation for stealing $2 million, had to step down in Weber County, this Gibson character, with no credentials, got a Weber State Presidential Scholar Award by White, the president, most corrupt president in the history of this university, who's gone now, who never went to school here, has no degree in environmentalism, has no degree, period. He's second in command at the DNR now. He's a mega dairy owner who drained off the marsh. He's one of the biggest. Now think about this corruption at Weber State University. I mean, in this collapse. So Energy Solutions out there, which is, everybody thinks it's so far out there, it's by Wendover. It's at mile marker 50. It's 40 miles from Tooele. It's 50 miles from 2.5 million people here on the Wasatch of Utah.
Right.
So they just buried in the ground. Now we have state laws. State laws, but they cheat, they just lie. The San Onofre reactor, it was way over. There's nobody watching the store.
So there's also corruption there.
Big time corruption. And their stock was in the 90s, was $35, and corruption was exposed, and the stock crashed under 5. The feds went after them, delisted them off the New York Stock Exchange, yet the state just turns their blind cheek to it. I mean, so the corruption's over the top of the Energy Solutions dump site, always has been. Now they'll say, oh, Kevin, we don't make the waste, you know, we just, you know, we're trying, and I says, well, yeah, I'll quit going after you if you quit cheating. So the Utah State Legislature, every governor has blocked the depleted uranium, the world's depleted uranium post-war. They've been trying to find a place for it, a home for it for 40, 50 years. Every single governor, Democrat, Republican, man, woman, has blocked it to coming in here. Our insane legislative process, which is insane in Utah. We pass marijuana law, they just tweak it and change it after the fact. This is the things they do.
After people voted for it.
Right,
Yeah.
which they did that on multiple ones.
Oh, yeah.
The beer one, they've raised beer from 3.2 now to 4.0. That's their compromise. They're insane. So they passed it. So the governor told me to my face on this campus that he would not let it happen. He okayed it. So I was out there the other day. I went out there. And they took my camera from me. I shot video. They're unloading it right here, right now, in Utah. 700,000 tons. The N.R.C. has not. The governor sent it back 5 years ago to rate it. The N.R.C. has not classified it as low-level waste. It is not low-level waste. It has not been classified. It's illegal. But what's illegal in Utah? You know, it's marijuana seed, I guess. You know, they can lock you up and hit you in the head or shoot you, whatever. But white-collar crime is not only legal in Utah, past 20 years.
Right.
It's encouraged. And so anything for money, and Grassy Mountains is the other place they're browning, which Mitt Romney's involved with, the Boston boys. They're a Boston company. And you ask them, why'd you vote for it? They'll say, oh, jobs. I says, they laid off 60 people last year. Not to taxes. They gave them a tax break where they not only don't have to pay any taxes, they gave them 10 years back taxes back last year in a bailout.
Wow.
So they don't pay any taxes. They employ hardly nobody. They don't live here. They don't play here, but we're their toilet. And so why do these politicians go for it? Because they're for sale whores, that's why.
Exactly.
And Weber State University, Ann Milner, the ex-president, she voted for it. So where's the resistance?
Yeah, there's practically no resistance.
I mean, so we are officially the world's outhouse. You know, here's Fukushima raging, which Deseret News, everybody denied Fukushima's happened. Then 5 years later, there's an article in the Deseret News front page. Utah company gets contract to help clean up Fukushima. I thought Fukushima never happened.
Which company get that contract?
Oh, I don't even know who it was. There were a bunch of them who moved in here and developed because this place is so easy to get. We've got rid of all regulations. So a lot of companies have moved here as far as nuclear waste. I never saw Grassy Mountain and Energy is so busy out there because there's no regulations. There's nobody watching the store. So gang rape freaking Utah like they are the Pacific Ocean. And one other update, the 7th gray well washed up yesterday morning in the last 2 weeks on Malibu, starving to death. The ocean's collapsing back to you San Onofre's. So, I mean, not on the beach. It was me in the bone marrow transplant at LDS Hospital dying of leukemia that was getting the stuff leaked to me on the leaking generator at San Onofre, and I leaked it into the internet, and we got it to the Muse meeting. They showed it. They were cheating on the exchange down there. They call it a steam malfunction. It actually blew. They were cheating on the generator, trying to save themselves $100 million. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General then. She got on our side because her mother just passed away. Her mother was the epidemiologist at Livermore, a famous old anti-nuker who I knew her mom.
I didn't know that.
No, her mother was an epidemiologist at Livermore.
Now Kamala Harris, now she's
yeah, she was the Attorney General and things, so she got on our side. And I know her, and she went after him.
But now she's one of the candidates of the Democrat Party.
Now we'll see, because she dropped the ball on going after him, you know, which they all do. Right. So she raided their house. California, Cal Edison, and the state regulator, which is the California Public Commission, she raided his house. She caught him. They were in Warsaw, Poland, and everything. She says, we got more than we even borrowed for. Handwritten notes on them chopping up these hundreds of millions of dollars on this cover-up and this rip-off and this exchange, which they brought to Utah and dumped here. And she says, we're going to go out and we're going to put them in prison. Then all of a sudden she runs for Senate and just drops the ball.
Wow.
No charges. No nothing.
No nothing.
Well, you stand up to that machine. You know, Barack Obama was propped up by the nuclear energy crisis. So is Trump. Trump's passed Obama now as the most pro-nuclear energy president. I mean, here Fukushima's melting down, killing the Pacific Ocean.
Well,
no answer for the waste.
Trump is actually pro-destruction of the country.
Yeah, well, so is Obama. They're identical twins. You know, Obama covered up the Fukushima nightmare, and I have the transcript from inside the Situation Room. I have it. You know, they knew it was a meltdown freaking, speaking of that, they knew it was a meltdown at 3:43 p.m. They knew it was a meltdown that day. And they just lied and lied, sent the USS Reagan in, radiated their own guys, willingly, knowingly, and just went into cover-up mode.
These absolute geniuses, if they actually had any integrity, why not plant the waste underneath their own houses? Here in Utah, on the fault line, where it's eventually going to backfire and bite them in the so-and-so.
That's my answer. I says, you like nuclear so much, bury it in your basement. You know, they build them out in New York. They build them out in Pennsylvania. I says, put it in Springsteen's freaking basement in Jersey. They build them out. Put it on Waverly Avenue in Illinois after the fact. We don't make it in Utah. Why we the toilet?
Exactly. Exactly.
And now they keep bailing this monster out. It's uneconomical. It's a disaster. And these state the feds bail them out. The international community bails them out. The state bail. They're going to go to your local PTA and have a bake sale.
But who had the great idea of making Utah the toilet of the country?